Okay, let's take a look at a dev environment for the classic iris data. I'm going to first go through my GitHub. I've got basic file structure where I have the iris data here in data directory. Then I have my notebooks file from the Jupyter Labs, and then a README. Here's my tools and libraries, pretty expected, I think. Just Python and Jupyter notebooks plus the pandas, sklearn, numpy. And then here's my overview, and the key findings are just some quick discussion about petal length and which species of the irises stood out the most, but we will get to that in our data analysis. Let's see, so let's launch Jupyter Labs, and hopefully it's not slow. My laptop is not crazy about recording and doing this at the same time. Okay. Jupyter, okay, great. So I think I have cleared all the outputs so we can run through it again. Here is our imports, and then we'll load our data. So here's the array and the rest of the data, which we went over in class. And then down here, I'm taking the data and using the pandas library to create a data frame. And down here, I have just some small methods to like verify that we're getting things, and that the columns are coming out as expected. So here's the first couple, here's the last couple in the data. Oh, sorry, I skipped it. It's right here. And then some general info, data types that are being used, some mostly floats, and then describing the data. And then down here, I just included some data cleaning things because Python is pretty new for me, and well, I know that these are some of the packages, but I thought I might use them in the future, even though this data is pretty nice because there's no, there's no duplicates. And then checking that we have like the balanced amount of data right here. And then here we have get some averages. So we can see here that already that like the lengths are different in these three species. Okay, so then getting to data visualization. Okay, I have a couple of checks because I was running into difficulty. So this is just getting my data type, and then also just a little bar chart, which doesn't really show us anything because we already knew we had an equal amount of data in each of these categories. Okay, and then here is my histogram. So here I have the count of samples and the petal length for each sample. You can see that Setosa has the largest amount of flowers with a small, short petal length. And then I just went ahead and did a histogram for each of the 4 measurements because I felt like it was just good practice. Because I've never made these before. It's pretty fun. So, there's just the petal length and width, and then sepal length and width. And then here we go. I did a box plot for the 3 species based on the petal length. And I didn't do it for each of the 4 measurements because that was a lot. Here we can see, and we have a couple of outliers in Setosa and Versicolor. What is this species? Oh, okay. That label is very close. And then no outliers on Virginica. Okay, and then I did a second box plot Oh, right, I really liked this, to see a data visualization of all the specific samples. So like, I think that's very pretty. And then, okay, here's a scatter plot. Sepal, so we're comparing sepal length and width across the 3 species. And this is sort of, I have the different labels so you can see the different, distinguish the dots based on which flower type. And like, I'm not really sure what I would take away from this except for Setosa's all right here, whereas the versicolor and virginica seem a lot closer. And then I made a second one, and I guess the petal length is a lot more interesting than the sepal length and width, because you can see, and I like this, it's almost in the shape of a petal if you imagine it. So you can imagine this like really small petal down here for Setosa, and then green being extremely large, virginica. And I think the takeaway is that they're very consistently different, the petal lengths between the 3 irises, and it's kind of nice to get data that's this clean, like very bunched together. Let me see, I don't think, double checking if I forgot anything. I don't think so. I think so. Everything ran well for me in Jupyter Labs, and I also have, I think that's it. All right. I'll catch you next time.